Hey, cool kids. So, something a little different happened. I interviewed my nephew, and we talk about Cena and his heel turn. Me as a person who's brand new to this, and him as a lifelong fan, basically. So, it's a really cool conversation, but I thought I would record video and audio from Zoom. It's just the audio, and it's not the best. I'm working on it, okay? So, it's a really cool episode. I'm really proud of it, like the conversation. But the audio, messes up a couple times. It might drop a word every now and then. But stick with it. I'm definitely going to have him back on the show and definitely going to have better audio because this was super fun. Enjoy. Hey, Duane.
What's going on?
So I've been doing some episodes about WWE. Here's the thing. I had a friend who was into WWE. We stopped being friends. And so now I don't have anybody to talk to about it. So I just randomly record stuff and put it on YouTube. And then I was talking to your dad today, and he's like, yeah, Duane was saying something about some controversy and someone turned bad. I was like, you mean because John Cena finally turned heel? So, first of all, explain your WWE background.
Yeah, I mean, like just being a boy in America, I was just I would turn on the TV and see these guys fight, and I thought it was the coolest thing. My first WWE hero was Batista back in the day. I had all the little action figures and all that. I was truly heartbroken when I found out that it wasn't scripted. I was like, no, no way. There's no way. But like even now, I think it's the greatest entertainment. I love it.
Same, same. And so, what is your relationship with it now? Do you watch? What's your deal?
Yeah. So every once in a while, like the big events, I'll try to tune in. A lot of them have been like pay per view recently, and so I'll just go to like a restaurant with my friends, and if they're playing it, we'll watch it then. Yeah. So the big events for sure. But my friends recently invited me a few weeks ago to one of the big matches. I couldn't go, and I was so upset. But that's the next step: going to an actual live WWE match. Yeah.
Nice, nice, nice. Like a house show,
No, no, like they
like
went
the
to
televised.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so they went and actually sat in the crowd and it was awesome. It seemed so cool. They had signs and everything. So
Ah, the audiences are just the best. The
that makes it
chants, the
that makes it
signs, the
absolutely
expressions.
the reactions exactly.
They're the best.
It's the
I
reaction.
love it.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you my thing. So like I said, so being more specific now,
Mhm.
like growing up, I had known about Hulk Hogan and Hulkamania. I'd never actually seen anything. I had heard that Glow was a thing,
Right.
never seen it, and like I heard about Snap into a Slim Jim, and so just things that were in the zeitgeist.
Right.
And then when I was in high school, something something Draboni, something something candy ass, and
Right.
like hearing these Austin 316, I had
Oh
no
yeah.
idea what they were.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't even know what it was in conjunction. It's like, is that a music genre? Like, why are all these people having these t-shirts and these
Right.
sayings?
Right.
Whatever. So anyhow, then The Rock, and he becomes more famous. So now bringing it to the Cena thing. This is where it comes together. The way I know The Rock is through Kevin Hart and
Right.
Transformers, or not Transformers, Fast and Furious.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's how I know. And I knew smell what The Rock is cooking.
Right.
That's the only thing I really knew. And I knew that he was in WWE. End of information.
Right.
And so I know Dwayne The Rock Johnson. And then my first introduction to ever knowing that John Cena existed is as Peacemaker.
Wow.
So that's the first time I ever saw him.
Wow.
Okay? See,
Right.
see?
Right. Right.
So and the second time I saw him was in Fast and the Furious.
Yeah. Yes, right, because he was also in one of those, right?
So he's the heel there. And so he has his redemption arc at the end, but he's heel.
Hmm.
And then he's on, it's like, what is this, Cypress Hill, or what is this thing? Why is he being silly?
Right.
He's Peacemaker. And so I went from seeing him a Peacemaker in the movie, spoiler warning for the movie, the Suicide Squad.
Mhm.
He kills the main character. He
Right.
kills the main hero, rather, not just the
Right.
main character. He kills the main hero. That's how I know John Cena.
Right.
I don't know Make a Wish Cena. I know Take a Wish, Cena.
Yeah, right.
Okay? So
Wow.
so now, I see him a couple times with the thing and the little towels, and I was like, okay, he's a baby face. Fine, fine, fine. Now remember how I knew The Rock,
Right.
Kevin Hart,
Kevin Hart.
and
Central
you know what I
Intelligence.
mean? And then I see him and I was like, why is The Rock being so mean? And he's like, oh, he's a heel. I was like, what?
Yeah.
So I was like, John Cena, no, not even John Cena. Peacemaker is up here, friends with everybody. Everybody loves Cena. And The Rock is like, why are people booing him? He's
Right.
such a great guy. You see, he's got these things. And so that brings us to the heel turn.
Right.
For me, it's like, oh, wow, that's interesting. For me, it's the same as like when Roman Reigns went after Solo.
Right.
It's like
Wow.
that was a big deal, but it's like sort of the nature of the beast. So those were equally big deals to me because it was like for the 7 matches that I've seen him associated with, it's been 7 of him being a good guy.
Exactly.
But those 7 have come in the last year.
Right. Right.
So tell me about what your experience was with from where you saw him to where he went to turn.
Right. So being a kid watching WWE, and everybody knows WWE has their heroes and their villains. And all my life, The Rock was the villain. He was the big bad guy. Like he would show up to these WWE events and something crazy is gonna happen. Like somebody's getting betrayed, somebody's getting jumped. It's just gonna be bad. But John Cena was always like Captain America. He was the moral, good-hearted American boy. Like there was no issues. Like I'm looking at a picture of him in 2003, the hero, and now fast forward to 2025, and this is the first time that we've ever seen him betray someone and one of his friends, let alone because Cody Rhodes and John Cena used to fight back in the day on tag teams, and they were friends, and so seeing The Rock come in and plant his little hooks in another hero, that part wasn't surprising. It was the hero that he chose.
Yeah.
That was the surprising part. And that's interesting that you saw John Cena and The Rock as their opposites.
Yeah.
John Cena as the bad guy, as the violent, and Duane The Rock in Central Intelligence with his little fanny pack. Like it's the opposite.
Exactly.
It's the opposite film. Yep.
It's a weird world, and I'm loving every second of it.
Yeah.
It really is interesting. So, with that, predictions.
Right. So I think if I'm not mistaken, WrestleMania recently happened. It was not too long ago.
I think it's happening in April. No, that's a lie. No, I'm not going to talk because I didn't realize that Royal Rumble wasn't the same as SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah, you see, there's a lot of different.
Yeah, you see, so I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to start listening.
There's a lot of different worlds. But you're actually right. The next WrestleMania is April, so you're correct about that. I think this is going to come back in April, because like I said, there's like the smaller WWE shows in between these big events. And so they're going to have their regular fights and all that. But WrestleMania is when I feel like The Rock and John Cena will come back. And I don't know if it'll be tag team. I don't know if it's going to be, Hell in the Cell. I don't know what's going to go on for WrestleMania. But that's when we're going to get maybe the next little piece of this story for sure.
Okay, so I'm not going to give predictions because I didn't know there was more than one show. So here's the thing. John Cena has 10 more months. So that means that he only has one more WrestleMania.
Right.
So this is going to be his last WrestleMania, but after that, he's still going to have 8 more months.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, he's going to either win or lose as a heel. It seems like would make the most sense.
Right. I could see him winning WrestleMania as a heel and then having somebody take him down in the next 8 months.
Yeah.
Before he, is ushered out and the, new eras are brought in. So
here's my thing. It feels like Endgame. Yeah, like this is Infinity War.
Right.
The Rock was Thanos.
Yeah. With his little.
Yeah. Instead of
Absolutely right. That was the big snap. And
Mr.
as
Stark, I
random,
don't feel so good.
right, as random as it was, but Travis Scott being there
Don't
too
get me
was
started.
yeah. I remember seeing the clip the day after it happened, and I was like, I know that's not. Look, what's going on?
Don't get
That
me
was
started
random.
on him.
And apparently he did hurt Cody
That is
Rhodes.
what.
Yeah,
And it's The Rock's fault.
yeah,
He said, go in there, make it count.
right, right,
Do you know how many jobbers are out there like, I've been taking lessons for the last 16
very,
years to learn
very
how to
true.
throw a punch, land a punch, all this stuff. This yuckle comes out here and busts open the head
Yeah,
of the face of the company's
yeah,
ear.
absolutely. I was like, his eardrum is burst. Like that.
That's
That shouldn't.
terrible.
That shouldn't have happened.
Never.
Yeah, that definitely shouldn't have happened. But
Even
yeah,
Logan Paul got trained.
at the very least,
You
right?
know what I mean?
As frustrating as that family is, at least they have the theatrical part down. They
Yeah.
know how to fight in the WWE.
Yeah.
Uh,
100%. And
yeah,
then this guy just shows up and starts busting people in the
it's
face.
just wild that they included him on one of the biggest happenings.
Exactly. For the rest of time. That's
Yeah, no,
like
he's
there now.
and people have been cropping him out online all week, like all week. It's just John Cena and The Rock, and then like an arm on. But like, yeah, it just didn't make sense. It
I
didn't make.
love it.
It's like the
So
music's great, but yes,
and that guy and
yeah,
them. He's and them.
and them, yes,
Okay. So here's the thing. So just like this is Infinity War, we just had the snap or the slit.
right,
No, we're going to call it the snap. So that doesn't sound right. So we just had the snap, and everybody knew that they didn't know what was going to happen in Endgame, but it had to include time travel, right?
yes,
So obviously he has to go back to being a babyface. And it doesn't make sense for it to happen sooner than later. But how he's either going to have to save someone or someone's going to have to save him,
right.
but like they're gonna have to go with this for a little bit.
Yeah,
You
I
know
was
what I
about
mean?
to say this is the big decision they've made, and like you said, it would have meant nothing if the snap was reversed the very next day.
Yeah.
You know, remember in the movies, 5 whole years went by before, before
Mm-hmm.
the heroes were able to get it. So if April's next month, if
Yeah.
April he's the hero again, then it's like, oh,
Yeah,
okay.
exactly.
But if he pushes it and he is the villain throughout WrestleMania alongside The Rock or like any of the other WWE villains, then that would be great. And then maybe come summertime, fall, you have Cody Rhodes or one of the heroes take him down again.
Yeah.
I would like that.
So I don't know. The other thing is that in the meantime,
Mm-hmm.
I know he has it in him because I know him as Peacemaker.
Right.
And he did awesome in that show. So he would, but that is nothing like his character, his WWE character.
Right.
So you know what I mean?
Yes.
You
So
see what I'm saying? Like John Cena, the actor, is
right.
really good as Peacemaker. But
Mm-hmm.
John Cena, the character, now has to act like. Do you see what I'm saying? There's layers to this.
I think the problem when wrestlers go to Hollywood basically is that they've already been playing a role for so long.
Yeah.
When, for example, I was talking about Batista, it's hard for me to not see him as like he is Dave Batista now, the accomplished actor. But in my head, he's Batista, the accomplished WWE star, And it's
That's
very
funny.
separate. And he's had to like branch out and put himself in roles that are like, okay, I can do more than just wrestle. And so John Cena did so well at John Cena that when he went to anything else, we were like, but he is a great actor, and so he was able to like fully become these roles. And so Peacemaker, that is who he is. Like that's another part. But it's when you're that good, it's like, okay, who are you, dude? Like who are you?
Exactly.
Who
Because
are
it's
you?
like, yeah, I Yeah, I have no idea how that's gonna be, but
It's a little rough there.
yeah, it's a whole thing, and yeah, we shall see. We
Yeah.
shall friggin' see, and I hope that you can do this with me more because this is such a cool world,
Yeah,
and
this would be fun.
I don't know what's going on with a lot of it. Like, okay, so check my facts. Look how smart I am. So Raw. Okay, so there's WWE and they
Hmm.
have shows on TV. It
Hmm.
got to be so big that they had two shows in a
Right.
week. And one is called Raw, one is called SmackDown. They now divided it so you're either a SmackDowner or a Raw person,
Right.
right? They have drafts that I know about.
Hmm.
And then these other extracurricular activities are not a part of that. Like I didn't know that like the Royal Rumble and elimination and all that
Right.
stuff. I thought that those were like special events at
Hmm.
yeah. So little did I know. So yeah, so and WrestleMania is one of the special ones,
One of the
etc.
biggest one. Right. And that's because there's a continuity, I guess, like a storyline
Mhm.
that we follow in the WWE, but sometimes for, Royal Rumble or Elimination or Hell in the Cell, they'll kind of throw away those, it's like, yeah, we know the characters are there, but maybe the lore that they're bringing is not going to be attached. So
Oh.
sometimes it's like there's two people who hate each other, but
Mhm.
they go to WrestleMania or they go to one of these big events, then they can put those differences aside, and the fans are like, okay, okay. When we get back to SmackDown, when we get back to Raw, that's when that beef picks back up. But for now, yeah,
So this is Marvel.
yeah, no, 100%. These are superheroes, and they're
Yeah.
superhumans, and yeah, yeah.
There is a
Think about
cinematic
it like the
universe.
boys. Think about it like the boys.
I haven't seen that. I've seen an episode.
It's wild,
It's a
but
bit much.
yeah, it is definitely it's a lot, but it's that like idea of we are selling superheroes
Mhm.
and the stories behind them. These people aren't necessarily like the main hero Homelander. He's he sells himself as Superman and moral and just, and not at all. Like if you were to meet him in real life, it's like, oh my gosh, you are Satan's son, like
Yeah.
100%. And so,
The concept is wild. I love it.
oh, love that show. One is really good, but it's similar. It's similar in
Yeah.
the idea of selling superheroes.
When my first episode when I was talk of this kind of
Hmm.
WE series, I was like, "Oh, it's such a cool world, and these people are such good actors." Don't Wikipedia them. Don't search too much. Just
Right.
enjoy the show. Don't look into these people.
Yes, just look on the
Eh,
outside. But,
yeah. Did you
yeah.
ever see Tough Enough? Like those shows?
No, I did. Oh, maybe an episode or two. Now that you say that, it sounds familiar.
Okay. So it is really cool and a weird time capsule. It
Mm.
happened in like the early 2000s, right? And so it's super dated, but also the people who they have on. Like you watch an episode and it's like main stage, murderer, suicide, rapist, main stage, retired.
Oh
Like
my
you just look
god!
around and it's like all the stories that are there are wild. And it is just weird. And like the first season, like when one of the women left, she was injured and she left, she like gave thank you notes to the judges and everybody hugged and they were rooting for each other. And then they had a season with Steve Austin. He's like, get your ass out of my
Yeah,
ring.
no.
You know what I mean? It was like a totally different energy. And so like the lore of this world
Yeah,
is so
yeah,
it is
yeah.
fascinating.
It's usually. I mean, I don't want to say usually, but a lot of people are like, they're like, okay, I am big, I am violent, and I need a job. And it's at least in the 90s and early 2000s, that was just an easy way to, like, you know what, I'm just gonna go wrestle. And so a lot of these people, they have some backgrounds indeed, but you know, like I didn't know the Undertaker was just a redneck. Like all my life he was from hell. Like he was a like, and then I saw an interview maybe like 6 years ago, and he was like, "Yeah, man, I loved playing the Undertaker. It was great." And I'm like, "What?"
Who this?
Exactly. So it's really cool that we have such talented actors in the
Yes.
WWE who can really encapsulate these roles, um, despite their backgrounds. Like that's who they're going to be. I
Yeah.
love it. They do a great job.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay. I could go on about this for years.
Yeah.
I want to say thank you, and I want to say that you are a drummer, and you're an amazing drummer, and people
Thank you.
should hire you to tour or do whatever
Yes.
things that people do drumming
Yes.
for.
Please hit my Instagram, d.hamilton_.
Yeah, and I'm gonna start an Instagram,
Okay.
so
Awesome.
I will
Yeah.
follow you because
Yes,
you are
please do.
cool. When I had another Instagram before, yours were very funny.
I try to. It runs in the family, so.
Ah, shucks. All right, cool kid. Well, until our next adventure, you have
Yeah.
a good one.
You too. Thanks for having me.
Peace out.
Peace.